going to show you how to apply some of the Cosmic Green stencil solution here. You don't need a lot. This is a really thick gel, so you can see just a drop or two of this is going to work for a tattoo about this size, a decent sized tattoo. So you're going to clean the area off with alcohol first and shave the area, prep the area, and then you're going to put 2 little drops on a paper towel, and then you're going to cover the area that you're going to put your stencil on. Now, it looks like there's nothing on this area right here, but the way the gel works is you can still feel the moisture on the skin. It's still wet, so it's still going to take a stencil. I can wait about 30 seconds here and then apply my stencil, and this will still work. So what happens is, if you don't see the stencil stuff, so you add more and you get the area really wet, it will fuzz your stencil, and you don't want that. So you don't want a big old blob like this, because it's going to take a really long time to dry. You just want to make sure that the area is moist, and you can feel the moisture on it. And then you're going to take your stencil and apply it to the skin, which I don't want to do this sitting down like this. I'm going to have to do this standing up. You always want to make sure that when you put a stencil on, the person is standing up in a relaxed position. You never want to put a stencil on when someone's sitting down like this. So you can see I've applied the stencil, and now I'm going to put a little pressure on it and hold it there for about 10 to 30 seconds. Okay, now before I remove this totally, I want to make sure that the transfer, all of the transfer, got on the skin. So I'm going to slowly peel this back. And you can see with the gel you get a nice, clean, crisp transfer. So it looks like we got a pretty good transfer on that. So you can see how clean the lines are. Now if you use too much gel, you would see some really fuzzy lines. So that's how you know when you're using too much. So practice with it a couple of times before you try to do a transfer on somebody for a tattoo, to make sure you get the hang of exactly how much you need to use to do your transfer. Now we're going to let that sit on there for about 15 minutes before I get started. I'm going to set up my tattoo station here. Now we got a pretty good transfer, but I was going to show you that if you start peeling the transfer back and you see an area that didn't transfer, which another good thing with this gel, because it's not super wet, I could use this one or two more times, reuse this, it's already dry, just in case it was in the incorrect position and you had to reapply this, you could do it again. But let's say you did it and you're peeling it back and you see an area that didn't transfer. All you have to do is take your paper towel, put a little bit of this cosmic gel on the paper towel. That was probably a little too much. Just get it a little wet. And what you can do is, while this is still stuck on the skin, you apply a little bit to the back of the paper. Not too much. If you start seeing the line fuzz, you've used too much. And you do that in the area where it didn't transfer, and it will put the transfer on your skin like that. It's like a temporary tattoo. You just wet the back a little bit with the gel, and then the areas that didn't transfer will transfer over using that method. But you can see if I keep adding more to this, this line will start to fuzz out, and that's when you know you've used too much. You just want to use enough just to get it wet enough so that the transfer will stick to the skin. And you will see the paper, you'll start to be able to see through the paper a little bit, and that's when you know that it's correct and you've put enough on there.